The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. I represent Bahamian people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Bintan, bro. Boy, I from Bintan, bro. Right between West and Augusta, where them two roads meet, they call it Wilkinson Street. Manners and respect like a sign blank check. It seems the ones that coming after quick to disrespect. You see, this life in the ghetto never easy. So many hungry days break till it grieve me. Way I doing the best I can, trying to turn my dollar to 100 grand. I represent the ghetto people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up, bro. Boy, I from Bintan, bro. Don't take no back talk, no bribe or no joke. If you find fire, you definitely find smoke. Bintan, bro. Boy, I from Bintan, bro. Bintan, I say up and running. Caliban say my show boy don't ever give in. 7 years of farm and watch the crops them come in. True they see a humble thing, the lions sleeping. But they hating for no reason. Only that I believe in, living. Watch them only pass through for a season. Cutlass, I go weed them. I represent people. I from Nassau, Bahamas. Big up in
Good night, Bahamas, and welcome to another edition of Inside the Inner City that premieres every Friday at 6:30 to 8 p.m. on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. I am your host, Valentino Bryan, a.k.a. Scrooge or Scroogey, but they normally call me Daddy as well. And I'm the host of this wonderful show that entertains Bahamian people, talk about our problems, find solutions, and we don't only talk about it. You know, personally me, I do it all purpose, but I use the airwaves to expose the problem we face, not to criticize as much as possible because they're still good. That many of the organizations are doing around the country. It's just that we got to do more, you know, to try and get it more on a better playing field. Means get rid of some of the corruption that exists in our numerous agencies, but also in ourselves as individuals in the country as well. You know, we have a long way to go in this country. You know, we have so many different problems. When you read the news, it's deacons, molesting children, grandfathers molesting their granddaughters, boyfriend killing their girlfriend pregnant. You know, we're going to talk about a lot of that today because we're going to have a show based on a lot of things that has happened, you know, over the course of the month. We talk a little bit about the funeral first, about the late great Minister of Environment, Mr. Vaughn Miller. Many of you know him. Who don't know, I was a regular guest on this Morning Inspiration show at ZNS. So I'll talk a little bit more about that once I finish addressing the general public. We'll talk about the recent homicide that has shocked the nation. I'd just like to remind the nation as well that if you recall back some few years back, I had a sister who also was pregnant, and she was 9 months pregnant at that time. And, you know, we were asking the same questions as the nation, as the family members of the young lady, you know, who tragically lost her life. And, you know, the response of the Minister of National Security, Wayne Monroe, we have to respect that because he is personally a lawyer. Now he is a minister of the government. He knows what the law states on these matters. It might be hard for me and you to understand that when he speaks, he knows he's speaking, even though it may be contradictory to me and you, because, you know, he would say one thing when he's in opposition, and then when he becomes the government of the country, he says one other thing. But when it comes to the law, he knows what he's talking about. And in our books, we don't have a law that states that unborn fetus, is poison. Means that it would not be classified as a murder, but the victim itself, as Mr. Monroe was explaining, would be classified as murder. And many people are asking why, and he says, doesn't matter. The person still will be charged with murder. And we're still asking the question why. It's because our law, that it's in the book, as far as I'm concerned, I was a victim as well. Like I said, I lost my sister, I lost my brother, and I lost his girlfriend. In fact, there were two females in that who were pregnant. My brother who lost his life in that incident, his girlfriend was actually 3 to 4 months pregnant as well, along with my sister. But when the persons were charged before the court, they got charged with manslaughter, and both of them were given 18 years, and they were not charged with the fetus. To me, speaking, I understand where Mr. Monroe is coming from, but our laws are stupid in the country. I mean, anyone with common sense could tell you that a child, a man or a woman who lays with one another, we know that when the sperms connect, atomic bomb goes off in the woman's body, an egg is formed, and that becomes a fetus, and that is life, But I don't know what human species or what law, whoever the person was who wrote this law that was passed on from different nations to the Caribbean countries. That's the most stupidest law. And we have many stupid laws like that in the country wouldn't even make no sense, because a life is a life, whether the baby is unborn or what. That's a child development in a female, and that life was taken. So it's a stupid law, hard for us to understand, but there are many stupid things going on, it's fixing. But boy, it's crazy. So like I said, we're going to have that topic. So I'm going to start off the show today by sharing my respect to the late great Juan Miller. I want to talk about character, and I want to show people about character. I want to show people that even a guy like me who came off the streets, and even when I was on the streets, I still was meeting a lot of high-profile people in the country, because being a gang leader, you were meeting a lot of people because they wanted to meet you. And I was very intelligent. I always had an answer to many questions they asked me. So I was always to stay in the loop with them because I was always responsive. I always had an intelligent answer to their question, and it also was always a good solution, and it always made sense, to individuals. So I have had the opportunity to work with many, many individuals in the country, and I separate my personal friendship with these individuals. Even a young man, but rich with knowledge, rich with how I connect with people, and I'm able to make something more than nothing. Means that I don't need no funds to make things happen in my community. I could be able to reach people and say if it's a plan, if you can assist. So I'm able to communicate, I'm able to make things happen. So I was able to meet a lot of people in my lifetime, from prime ministers. I met Michael Jackson, I met the late great Michael Jackson, I met Magic Johnson, I met so many people. I just, on a personal one-on-one, I met many persons from different walks of high society life around the world. I met people in the Illuminati, I met people from the Rotary Club of East Nassau. So I've had an extensive experience with leaders around the world and big-time business people. So, like I said, I was able to work with a lot of people. And one of those individuals was the late, great Juan Miller, who was laid down today. He was brought to Bahamas Diplomatic Center on Carmichael Road. And he was laid down today, a good man, with conviction. And like I said, I separate my personal activism, before he got in politics. In fact, he asked me if he should take the step into politics. And I was one of the persons who we confided in. And they said, try it, and it could work out, and we could do some things together. you know, and eventually he went into politics. But I want to just play a little clip of his funeral arrangements today. Go ahead. I can go ahead.
To the Minister of the Environment and Member of Parliament for Golden Isles. His brother, Glenn Miller, said his sudden death last month has left a void that time cannot fill.
You showed me many things, but you forgot to teach me one last thing: how to. You have always proved that you are a hero. Your legacy will live forever. You were an inspiration to all. Your journey here has ended, but your love will carry on forever.
Former F&M Member of Parliament Anthony Miller says the two-time MP did what he could for his constituency.
I believe Vaughan Miller finished his life strong. So we salute him. Rest in peace, Vaughan.
President of the Bahamas Fly Fishing Industry Association, Prescott Smith, urged the government to finish the work Miller started in uplifting and promoting the crucial industry.
He championed the historic document to map out all blocked or restricted nursery systems around the Bahamas. So he was not thinking, when he talked about making the wealth common, he was not just thinking in a very narrow form. He thought about all things, and he said that if any blocked or restricted nursery system, it means you would have more fish, more conch, more lobster, more grouper. It meant that Bahamians could be empowered all over the country, whether you were in the sports fishing industry, or you were in the commercial fishing industry, or you were Grammy fishing off the rock in Eleuthera where you caught your grunt and snapper to have your stew fish. That impacts all Bahamians.
Opposition leader Michael Pintard said Miller, who was first elected under the Free National Movement before eventually joining the Progressive Liberal Party, saw both parties as vehicles to serve the country he loved.
Vaughan loved this country. He saw the merits of good in both of the political parties in which he served. But he knew that no party has a monopoly on virtue. And the truth is, while he was in office, he maintained friends on both sides of the political divide.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Philip Davis remembered Miller as a man of calm conviction.
As Minister of the Environment and Natural Resources, he carried the voice of our islands with him. He spoke not only for our generation, but for the generations yet to come. He believed that protecting the land, sea, and air of the Bahamas was a moral duty. He saw in the ocean the reflection of God's abundance, and in the land the inheritance of our children. He believed that faith without integrity is empty, and leadership without faith is dangerous. His faith gave him the courage to lead when others waited to see which way the wind will blow. That is why it is so fitting that we gather here at Bahamas Faith Ministries International to say farewell. Even in high office, he remained humble.
Miller was 64. Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonnie Toot.
Yeah, I want to again send my condolences to the family and also to the nation and to the friends. Like I said, I was a friend to Mr. Miller, and I want to show you about character, right? How I separate my personal differences from him being a cabinet minister, even though we start off him asking me. First of all, let me show you how me and Mr. Miller met. Me and Mr. Miller met because I was invited by Nick Hepburn. He is the late, great Nick Hepburn. He was a senior man at ZNS, and he saw my interviews that I was conducting concerning the gang violence, the poverty, and how to solve it in the country. And I was invited to make an appearance on ZNS News. We did an interview with Juan Miller, telling it one of the best interviews that they ever had on ZNS when it comes to the inner city communities. They complimented me on it because they had a lot of viewers, a lot of listeners. This is one of the most viewed segment talk show they had on ZNS. In fact, some of the top talk shows ratings on ZNS is when I went on immediate response with many of different radio talk show hosts from Juan Miller to many others on ZNS. And Juan connected with me, listened to me a few times. We linked when I brought him the story about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s story that I had uncovered in the Lewis Street area from the late, great Mr. Panza, who gave me the information concerning Dr. Martin Luther King and his connection here to the Bahamas. But not only that, then he showed me the information, importance of how Dr. King was staying in Grandstand, Lewis Street. And he came to the aid of Sir Randall, who was fighting for labor issues in the country, that, like what Belinda Wilson is fighting for today, well, that all started from Sir Randall. So the labor issues and what Belinda is doing now, she has taken on the mantle of Sir Randall. The Labor Day we celebrate is Sir Randall, right? So, like I said, what Belinda Wilson is doing, she is a representation of Sir Randall. So Mr. Ponzo, who's now deceased, he gave me the story about Dr. King. He told me, said, that if I want to help empower my community, if I use this to my benefit, I could turn the Lewis Street area into a tourist attraction. And one of these attractions could be the history of Lewis Street, which contains the history of Dr. Robert Love, who also lived on Lewis Street and went to Agnes. He is the one who inspired Marcus Garvey. He is the one who inspired Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You understand? He is the one who inspired Sir Randall Fox himself. You understand? And all of these great guys stayed in Lewis Street. Marcus Garvey came here in 1927 in Lewis Street. Okay? So there's a lot of history, and I learned all of this. And I said, wow. You know, so I went to ZNS, and I met up with Dr. Rita Pratt. And this is all connection from God. You know, like I tell you, I don't have no money, but connection just came in where I got a historian who came to me because I was telling a little bit of the story on Gems Radio, where I was a co-host with Debbie Bartlett at Gems Radio. Tell it like it is. You understand? So in doing so, I ended up with Dr. Rita Pratt. I told her the information. I told her that Dr. King stayed in the house for 3 days. I told her the year he came, 1958. I told her who she came to. I showed her where Sir Randall Fox lived around the corner. And all this information was given to me from Mr. Bunza. So I passed it on to Dr. Rita Pratt, and she came back trembling to me, and she said, well, everything you said is true. So we went, and she did all the interviews with the late Arlington Butler and all of the people who were witness around that time to verify that Dr. King was in Lewis Street and that his first visit was not in Bimini. His first visit was actually in Nassau, Bahamas, Lewis Street, Grandstand. And he spent 3 days in Lewis Street. And the house is through Lewis Street. And I was in the house. We were able to work with the U.S. Embassy. We were able to work with the Antiquities and Monuments. And up to this date, we have the U.S. Embassy. Every celebration of Martin Luther King Jr., the U.S. Embassy comes to Lewis Street, and we do a celebration where we block off half of the road every year. So we became partners with the U.S. Embassy. And that's an ongoing program right now that we have going on with the U.S. Embassy. So every year, in partnership with my partner organization, Lenahan Bahamas, led by Lucas Metropolis and Ms. Sheila Pritchett and Mitzi Burrows, who's the director, and many others who have contributed greatly to our community center in Lewis Street. So I was able to go to Juan Miller, and I present him the information. And we were back and forth. He's saying, no, Dr. King was in Bimini and blah, blah, blah. So we went in the book, and we take apart the book. We had the letters that was written from Dr. King to Sir Randall. And Sir Randall wrote a letter to Dr. King thanking him for his contribution, that when he came to the Bahamas, at that time, the British administration was in charge of the government. And Sir Randall was being persecuted for treason in the country, so he was afraid for his life. And the thing that we need to take in mind is how powerful we are as Bahamians. Do you know that Sir Randall taught Dr. King how to do civil rights? Our same Sir Randall taught Dr. King how to do civil rights in America. Even better. Because what we need to understand is that the Bahamas has the oldest parliament in this part of the world. Not even America has an older parliament than the Bahamas. We've been established more than America. Okay, go look at history. America just reached the Bahamas as being here. We've had rule of law from the inception, because that's why Christopher Columbus landed here in the Bahamas first, not in America. Okay, and everything else was established from the British colony here in the Bahamas. So we were one of the first jurisdictions of law in the Bahamas, and I was able to learn all of this. And I was able to go to him, and like I show him the evidence, and then he and I had a show on it, and then everything was verified. We went to Antiquities and Monuments. They verified, and they started to participate, and they get themselves involved. And then we had a ceremony in 2017 with the U.S. Embassy, the Bahamas government, Antiquities and Monument, myself, and Lennon, Bahamas. And now it's a historical site through Lewis Street. And I'm hoping that in the coming year or so, I'm going to start to see how we can get funding to try and see how we can turn it into a museum, if it's possible. But other than that, we're going to put up a sign and put the location up, which is up now. So I met with Mr. Juan Miller, and then from then, we connected. And then he started asking me a lot of questions about the crime issues in the country, you know. And I told him, and he asked me about my personal life, and I told him, you know, I was a former gang leader, and et cetera, and a former drug dealer, and et cetera. And he said that I'm very knowledgeable. I'm not threatening. Like, I have a aura that you feel comfortable around me, you know, not threatening, and you feel like you know me from a long, long time. That's me. I'm a friendly guy. I'm a kind guy. I'm one of the nicest person you can meet in the world, okay? And he, you know, I connected. And every now and again, every 3-4 months, he would call me to come on the show. And everyone listening in the country would tell you, me and Juan had some of the greatest shows in the country on ZNS Radio when we were talking about the inner city. And I got them to bring out their mobile station around the country that you see recently with Shanique from ZNS doing their mobile shows, going in the inner city community and questioning the residents' circumstances surrounding their environment and how and what solution can be provided. So we met on character. So the discussion came up after the years. He started to ask me, man, if I could go in politics for Valentino, Scrooge, I think that we could work together and make some of these programs come true. You know, I was optimistic, you know, because I've heard these type of talks from former prime ministers over the course of many years, you know. So talking to me is like talking to a rock. You understand? Unless I see that happening, you know. Not saying I'm optimistic with what he has to say. I don't say he was going to do it. You know, I mean, for me, I just don't believe in words. I believe in action. And one thing I did, I always inspire people, you know. So I told him, you know, that'd be good. I think that you would be a good minister. And he said, what party do you think I could get myself involved? But I said, well, you know, use your connection. I'll let God guide you, and you could see where you end up. So I kept on the show over the years. Then he made up his mind, told me, said, I'm going into politics. I think I invited him on the show and all. And he, you know, went from there. He became a member of parliament under the Free National Movement. When he got elected, I called him one time. That's like 3 months, because you know, you don't rush upon people, you know, not because you're in a person of a personal connection or personal friendship. And even though we discussed some things, that don't mean I have the right to intrude in your space, even though me and you had certain talks that we would do certain things. But at the end of the day, we have to respect each other space and jurisdiction. So I called him. He answered me. He came to my residence. He came in Lewis Street in his government car. He spoke to me, told me that he'd like to see some things done in the environment, some of the things that we suggested about fixing the houses, abandoned houses, cleaning up the lots that were a lot of abandoned cars, and creating green spaces, and et cetera, and see how we can move mechanics who can be removed or set them up where they can have a mechanic shop in the community, but it's clean. They have the record trucks to come and move the cars in a timely fashion. They don't have no build-up of cars, means that they don't 2, 3 cars, fix that 1, 2 car. When you finish, make sure that the car is removed within a week period, and et cetera. Make sure that there's no oil, in canisters that can leak the oil into the earth and protect the environment because of the mosquitoes and the roach, and we had the dengue fever, and et cetera, and et cetera. So we were supposed to work together on a normal basis, and he got really busy. There's a lot that comes with government. There's a lot being a minister, because now he has a whole community, to deal with. He has a whole country to deal with, different communities with different problems that he is trying to fix. So, and then he has to travel, to deal with all these things is time consuming. Now, when you take on these positions as ministers, if you don't have the right set of team in place to really pay focus to many of the problems in your ministry, so that you could have a person who's responsible to say, hey, look, we need to deal with this incident in the deforestation that is going on in the Carmichael Road area. I need a team there, and I need you all to report back to me every day. Then, you have a next problem. We had a lot of abandoned cars in the community. You need a team for that. You need a team to go around and monitor the community. So you need a briefing team, like how the Prime Minister has all of the permanent secretary comes to him and brief him about the different ministries, and the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Social Service, and et cetera, because he's the Prime Minister of all departments. So he get briefed from all the permanent secretary. And even him is overwhelmed because he still wants the personnel. So anyway, let me make the short story short. So, character, right? Character. I know that I'm an activist, and I know that I speak out about certain things that I see going on wrong in governments that can be fixed. And I know I speak on them, and I use the media. Now, my friend Juan Miller, he is now a member of parliament, and he really wanted to help. Because if you listen to earlier in the show, you see that he wanted to establish protecting the reefs so that Bahamian people can start benefiting off the environment, like the fishing industry, whether in the commercial, or non-commercial aspect of the environment. He wanted you to take advantage of that because he knew that unemployment was very high in the country, and we need opportunities for the young people in the country. So I saw he was doing that with his ministry. I know I couldn't bother with him as an activist. Now, he might not be doing what he said he was going to do with me. I understand that, but I'm seeing that he's doing some things for the country. I could see that he has a plan where he wants to protect certain interests for the people, so the people can go and fish and make money off the commercial fishing. You could go take people on tours. He wanted to create an opportunity for individuals, and I was happy with that. You understand? And I'm known that I'm an activist, and I would have been a problem to him because I might have been saying some things about someone in his particular party. Okay, I don't attack people. I'd say 1 or 2 things about that individual that he's doing wrong, but never his personal life, etc. No, that's not me. If you do something wrong and it's reported in the newspaper or on the TV and I see it, I'd say it for that one incident, but I'm not going to come with you and attack you every week. No, that's not my style. That's not me. If I'm wrong, I'm going to talk about it because everyone makes mistakes. Okay? So anyway, I respected him. And like I said, he did and had some great plans what he wanted to do. Okay, so that's the character I'm talking about. I put myself aside, knowing that me and him had a discussion where, you close with him. You come on the show every week with him on ZNS, Now he's the Minister of Environment. Now he could give it all kind of contracts, right? I asked him if I went to him. I did ask him. No, I'm not a liar. I asked him once or twice if he could assist with the cleanup in the Lewis Street area so that we could get some of the guys them some side contracts. And he did reach me, but my truck wasn't running. So he did. Honestly, he did. I think it was $1,000 a day for about 5 or 6 loads of garbage we move every day. And you're gonna make up to, no, I lied. You're gonna make up to $500 a day. And you were supposed to give your workers $60. But I was giving my workers $100 a day. So you're gonna make $500 a day, right? And you were supposed to pay the guys who you're employing, because that was the government initiative. They wanted to clean up the community, and Mr. Miller directed that. And there were many people in the country who benefit from that, because there are trucks all over Nassau just going around looking for abandoned yards and lots and cleaning the yard, because they needed to make about 4 or 5 trips before they could get the $500. So that was one of the initiatives. That's some ways of getting some type of money in the economy and to give back. Yeah. So I set that aside. That he has a big ministry and he has a lot of problems he's dealing with. So I don't want to be no more burden him. That goes the same thing with Mr. Watson and being a grandstand. I would call him once or twice, and that's it. Because I know his hands is full, and with the budget that he gets with $160,000 a year, and they think he only gets about every 3 months he gets about $15,000. And I know that the population is big in being a grandstand, and I know that with that $160,000 a year is way too little for a community of being a grandstand. Even though there might be about 5,000 people on the registry, there are close to about 30, 40 to 50,000 people living in being a grandstand community. So I don't put no pressure on MPs because I know their hands are full. You understand? I know that they can't deal with the everyday problem of the constituency needs. It's an impossible task unless they have a team and they have the finance. So I understand that many people would not understand that. But anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Mr. Miller, and that's how we met, and we always had a friendship. So I put my activism aside because I know it would have been a problem with me sitting on, having a conversation with him when I would speak not bad about his party, but some things that is going on that his government is handling, and I didn't want to be a distraction to him and cause him to have conflict with his party members, because people are really messed up in this country. When you're speaking truth and you're fighting for truth, there are a lot of people out there who don't want truth. They are corrupted and they live a vulgar lifestyle. So they have no morals. So they hate certain people. So Mr. Miller was laid to rest. I want to say again, condolences to him. He was a good man, and may he rest in peace. And now we're going to the second part of the show. Okay. I want to show you that we always be on to something when we have the show inside the inner city, because it shows how we can help the less fortunate to have a better life in this country. I want to talk about the Coalition of Independence. The organization is hitting different fronts. They're talking and tabling different problems we face in the country. And one of the one of the issues that they took up is a young lady who was homeless and sleeping on the beach. She have two autistic kids, and she single parent, and they were able to come to her aid. These are the problems that we are facing in our country, okay? And that was a good gesture. And that's what an organization, knowing the struggles of Bahamian people are going through, I need for people to step up, because this is give you that sense of direction, to see that being elected, all right, it's an opportunity to change the lives of those individuals who are less fortunate in the country. Assuming office, being that member of parliament, you can change the dynamics of so many people if you are committed. It's going to be hard because, your party policies. I listened to the speech by the Prime Minister, Menace, who, like I said, I criticize him for the COVID-19 and the lockdown, but as far as being a minister, a member of parliament, and a good representative for Kalani, he is an excellent MP, okay? Excellent MP. He assists his community. That's different. But man, he's the Prime Minister. He lock us down as a nation. We hot. You understand? But other than that, he speaks on some things that are concerning the Bahamian people, and he's making some sense. And he talked about the fact that all governments that are elected want to do good. They want to do good. But they do things that we do not like, and they do it in their time. That was his statement. And he is right. They get lost, and it's difficult. And we, as a nation, really need to take a look at ourselves and really say if this is the Bahamas that we want. It's just crazy. And you see at the funeral of Mr. Miller, you would see PLP, the FNM, and I think maybe someone from the coalition might have made their appearance as well, because with all due respect, because at the end of the day, we have to show respect to a fallen human being, So, the Coalition of Independence were able to assist the young lady with her two kids who were autistic. And that's the task of a member of parliament, the responsibility that he or she is going to inherit when they go in these inner city communities. All right. In response to that, many people were questioning social service, and the member of parliament, Miles LaRoda, and the minister of social service, excuse me if I'm correct, is Mr. Miles LaRoda. And he commented on the fact about the young lady, what he see the Coalition of Independence assisted, which was in the newspaper. And he stated that on the record that social service did assist the lady on numerous occasions. And I understand where he's coming from as well. And, he is stating that, it's a very tough task, because, again, like, you're going to rent a place for a person for 3 months, a family of one, a family of two, boy, girl, autistic. So it's very expensive for the lady, even to get the medicine, the proper food, because, you can't be giving the kids who are autistic pork, shop, and all. They need fruits and vegetables. It's very expensive, and the government is spending the money by putting them roof over their head. So, but when it comes to the expenditure, expenditure of things are expensive in the country. So even though social service is doing the best they can, social service cannot maintain it because after the 3 months is up, there are other people with similar problems in the country who have the similar problems, and the social service have to go and deal with them. So so after 3 months go, the person needs the next 3 months to stay because they thought by then they would have been working and the finance would have been there, but it just don't work out, So there's no choice but to do what they can and try to move on. But the individuals keep on going back to social service because that's the only option they have because they're so poor and they don't have nothing and they got to go sleep on the beach. Some people say, man, listen, it's crazy. So in a sense, when the budget social service receives, and then the demand, it's like a repeating cycle. Like the individuals, they're getting the help, right? But they still is not able to make that leap. So they end up right back where they started again, where they are homeless again, even though social service, is trying to do their best, get them a job. But the bills just keep on piling up, and things just don't work out the way it's supposed to work, and people end up in a spin cycle again. So I understand what he's talking about when he says it's on record, be assisted, and, it's ongoing, I think, again, that we have to find a way to empower the citizens so that they could be less dependable on social service. Because social service only could do so much, Because every day you got to eat, every day you got to spend money. And the days going fast. So the rent, look how fast the days are going. Monday to Friday, going like snap your finger. It's Christmas right around the corner. So the rent money is come like this. So that's why we need to find a way on how we can get social service, more in line with housing. So we're going to talk about the solution as I speak. And then last thing we're going to talk about the 2 lives stolen. So we can talk about that about 7:30. So we're going to talk about right now is how we can help some of these mothers who are homeless. The Coalition of Independence did a wonderful job. In fact, they did some similar, small, good gesture, because it's important to see where the party is headed. And small things count. And maybe it could be a catch for other members of parliament, who are doing some similar stuff, because there's some great MPs who are doing some great stuff, Pia Global Role, she's doing an awesome job. Leslie Miller, she is doing an excellent job as well. They're paving their roads, they're paving their community roads. I want to comment on Sabas real quick, and for the people of Fort Charlotte. For the people of Fort Charlotte, I think that, y'all have a good candidate. I think that he's going to do well in helping y'all fix your roads, fix your houses, because he's a multimillionaire. Not because he's a multimillionaire as well, because I think he has a good heart. I think he sees the need to help, and I think that he has a lot of creative ideas on how he could help the young boys and girls who want to be business owners. And that could be a big step for that area, man. You can imagine a guy like Sabas coming in, he helped them with their small businesses and stuff like that in that particular community, and help build small business up in that community, around his businesses up in that community. You can imagine the transformation of that community, if he is committed on taking that leap. The politician who sits down and knows the parliament and does little, he has the team. He can change the whole dynamics of the Fort Charlotte constituency. I think it's a plus. I think he's a good candidate. To Travis Robertson, I think he gets his hand full. I don't know, anything goes. But for me, I'm happy for both candidates. I'm also happy for the people in that community, because I know a lot of them, they end up objecting to the boss. Okay, so that means that they're quite happy that he is a representative of Fort Charlotte, because those people know in that community that they could see him and that he can make some things happen for them. So that could be a big change for that community. I'm not saying that PLP is going to win the election, but he is a good person to represent the community, as well as Travis Robertson. But he has chump change. Travis Robertson has chump change, just the boss. And I know it's a boss. He want to invest in the community. He want to help the young people. He want to help the old people. So I think it's a plus. Many people saying that, he is a number guy. Man, listen, we can't judge nobody in this country, because all of us get closet, all right? All of us get closet. You understand? People can change their lives, all right? People can change their lives, and God can put people in place where they can help others. You don't know the leaders that he has already created, where that illegal money not as illegal. That's helping others build their future. So the branch is spread. For Charlotte has an opportunity, I'm not saying to vote for Sabas. I'm not saying to vote for Travis Robinson either. I'm just saying look at the opportunities. That's a plus. I'm not saying vote for no party. I'm just saying the idea of a person like that who thinks business and wants to help people, I think that's a big plus. It's going to be hard on Travis. He has a lot of work to do. I hope he can convince the people of to give him a chance, but it's going to be tough in that constituency. It's very tough, very tough. So there's some people out there doing some great work in the country. And I just want to talk about, what I said I was going to talk about now. Okay. Yeah, about the wholesale. Okay, let me see if I can find it now. 1 second. Okay. That was Rachel. Sorry. Our report. Let me just read the thing here. Coalition of Independence helped home arm with 2 kids, 2 autistic kids. A single mother who was forced to sleep in a car with her 2 autistic sons at Southern Beach has been given temporary housing assistance by members of the Coalition of Independence. Yes, McKenzie, 47, said she was brought to tears when CO leader Lincoln Bain and his team showed up on Monday night to help the mother of 2 who lost her husband to colon cancer earlier this year. Said her life has been a daily struggle since his death. And that's a struggle for a lot of people in this country. So thanks to the organization, Coalition of Independence, I read the little stuff. The little stuff is the big stuff. All right? So I just want to look at the newspaper. All right, let me just go on, man. Okay. I got it just now. All right. Not that one. Okay, a recent survey was done on it was a survey done on all of the housing that are available in the Bahamas. I think it's 25,000 houses in the Bahamas. There it is. Come on, man. Don't be looking for something you can't find. I get it, Rachel. Come on, man. Jeez, gosh. We're going to get it. But anyway, it says 25,000 houses in the Bahamas that are vacant. And so that means that there's not housing problem in the country. It's the fact that we have houses in the country that are unoccupied because of the condition of the houses. Many family members who are brothers and sisters, their family has family property. They don't get along, so they leave the property there. They don't like one another, so the property stays there for a period of time. Brothers don't like one another, or sisters don't like one another. And the minute one of them go touch the property, but it's been there for 20, 30 years, it's a big dispute. The minute you go put a cutlass on the property, one pass and see you doing that there. Now, mind you, they never do nothing with the property now, okay? Now, when they see the little nephew or cousin go to the house, it's a big problem. Now, you're cleaning it up, all kind of trees growing through all of the roof, and you're trying to fix the roof. Now, I wasn't doing nothing. Now, it's a problem. You have to go to court. So this is what's going on around the country. We have family properties that left that some kids who are ungrateful. They don't know the hard work their parents put in to achieve the money, the work hours they put in, washing clothes, working from 9 to 5 or 9 to 12 in the night to save their life saving, to buy this property, to build this house so that the kids could have a better living. Some of the kids fail to don't understand that, and they turn their backs, being just disrespectful to their parents. Sometimes their parents just don't give them the property, and the property stays there. So there's a lot of stuff going on in our country. And the same way how the Coalition of Independence can go, this young lady who has a too autistic child. If the government, in partnership with Miles Road stated, and the Ministry of Housing, Honorable Keith Bell, with this program they have going around now about low-cost homes and properties they're looking at in the inner city community, that they're giving you like 60 days to come by the minister's office. Yards that are vacant, who they put up a sign from the Ministry of Housing with the signature of the Office of the Prime Minister. If your yard is being unattended or is a old abandoned house, they're doing a survey now, and the government is looking to purchase it or to inquire on it, these particular properties, so that they can turn these into low-cost homes. Maybe if they was they able to look at 25,000 homes in the community and was they able to talk to the owners if they want to sell, if they not want to sell, they could come to some type of agreement to fix it. We can have a lot of low-cost homes in this inner city community that goes directly to the many persons who are homeless in the country. For instance, the same young lady, social service could inquire. There could be a lot somewhere in one of these constituencies. Government could purchase it, rent to own it, put the same autistic lady in it, make sure it's rent to own, maybe pay $35,000 or $40,000 for it, maybe under $50,000, help her with a business plan so that she could be able to maintain the payment, and give her a start, just as well as many other Bahamians out there. 25,000. So there's not a housing crisis in the problem. It's the fact that we're not utilizing, we're not maintaining the houses in the community. That means the government and the community can have to work together to fix all of the abandoned houses. If there's a property owners or owners of property in this community that needs assistance on fixing their property, or they want to sell it, if they want to fix it, they could probably ask government to help them fix it. Or if they want to sell it and government can turn it into a low-cost home, then so be it. But there's 25,000 homes that are vacant in the country, and we could capitalize on that. We get a call on the line. Go ahead, caller. You're on Inside Inner City.
Good evening, this is talking the voice along with you, Scrooge.
Hey, good night.
Okay, Bremen here.
Okay,
The government got to do something, or should do something, with these people would just be selling firecrackers, because guess what? It's a problem running in Spence Street off Mason's Position. These youngsters get to your door and fire through the seams of your door. They could burn people out down. And somebody needs to do something about this foolishness.
Okay.
Government needs to do something about this foolishness. They don't need to be bringing firecrackers into this country, because people are only doing negative stuff with it. And they burn somebody's house down, who can pay for it? Government needs to do something with these people who are selling these firecrackers to these people. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. So let me read what Gordon Bowe said about we're going to take a break. When I come back, I'd read about the 25 vacant dwellings. Report by Gordon Bowe in the business section. My producers say we have to take a break on Guardian Radio 96.9. Don't go away. We're back on Inside Inner City on Guardian Radio 96.9 after the break.
Where I from Dayton, bro.
Always on the go?
Fast, reliable, and impactful printing services? Look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Always on the go? Missed the show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anytime, all day.
Girl, Junior just showed me Bella Boy in his phone.
What you mean? He take picture of that good-for-nothing boy?
Shh, you don't want Bella here. You say that. You know she always say that's my good child.
So what he doing in Junior phone?
Oh, he there because the police looking for him. He on their wanted list.
Wanted persons in your phone now?
Yes, child. And when police want to find anybody quick, after something happen, they can send pictures direct to your phone. Go to Google Play or App Store and search for Crack Crime Bahamas, then pick install and it will go straight to your phone.
There is also a section on missing persons?
Yes, girl. Everybody needs to get this app so police can tell us right away when these people go missing. Just like an alert system.
Yes, it has numbers for Crime Stoppers Bahamas, so you can call and nobody knows it's you. Call directly to Miami and give the information without giving your name or anything about you. I tried the other day, and when I hear Junior and his boys talking about where they hide those guns, I walk quick round the corner and call that number.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Okay, we're back on Guardian Radio. I'm your host, Valentino O'Brien, a.k.a. Scoochie or Scrooge, or Daddy, host of the talk show Inside the Inner City. And I just I found the clip in the newspaper about the emphasis in the Tribune eclipse 25,000 in latest census data. Vacant homes across the Bahamas rose to more than 25,000 in 2022, according to the latest census. You know why? That's because of poverty. Okay? People ain't get it no more. All right? That's simple as it. You don't have to know buts about that. Okay? The Bahamas National Statistics Institute reported a total of 144,198 dwelling units nationwide, of which 82.6%, 119,138 were occupied, and 17.4% means 25,060 were vacant. The market, a 6% rise in vacant homes since 2010, alongside a 14% overall increase in dwellings. The funding came amid what it paid for. A huge rental costs, stagnant wages, and what many argue is a shortage of affordable housing. Minister Keith Bell has said the country faces a deficit of more than 12,000 units. While vacancies climbed, the census also showed steady gains in home ownership and access to utilities, as well as a decline in overall crowding over a 12-year period. Home ownership increased by 19% between 2010 and 2022, ranging from 60,543 to 71,990 dwellings. However, the report did not indicate whether the home ownership rate, the share of occupied households that own their homes, have grown since 10-year data was calculated as of all private dwellings, including vacant ones. fully owned homes without mortgages increased sharply from 37,109 in 2010 to 52,691 in 2022, while mortgage homes fell from 23,434, that's 22.8%, to 19,299, that's 16.2%. Reality occupancy grew modestly. That year, 52,691 homeowners owned their property outright. 19,299 had mortgages, and 40,060 were renters. 40,060 were renters. So you know what that means. The census also identified 704 squatters. 10 islands reportedly home ownership rates of 70% or higher includes Auckland's, Maguana, and Cat Island, each exceeding 80%. Ragged Island recorded the highest rate at 92.9%. A comparison of private dwelling by island showed little change for Grand Bahama and Abaco. Grand Bahama accounted for 14.7% of all private dwellings in 2010 and 15% in 2012, while Abaco share rose slightly from 5.1 to 5.2%. New Providence share declined from 68.3% to 2010 to 66.9% in 2022, while the remaining families increased from 12 to 13%. So yeah, it's a lot of work in our country. It's a lot of work. 25 vacant dwellings. And it could be way more than that, because that's still not an accurate census report, because they still was not able to identify all the homes in national Providence. So if you're saying 25,000, I could say that could be anywhere from 35,000. You could add the next 10,000 or probably 15,000 on that census. So we have a lot of homes in the country. The homes is not a problem. It's that we need rent to own, and we need those cheap prices. We need homes that are going to be for families like this young lady who the coalition assisted with anywhere range from anywhere between $35,000 to $40,000. If we get it lower, then so be it. These are inner city communities and homes. Each MP in these constituency, Bainton, Angliston, and anywhere like that, Fort Charlotte, these homes can be afforded to rent own for a very cheap price for many at-risk people in this country. We're going to take this next call, and then we're going to go on to my last topic. Go ahead, caller. You're on Inside the Inner City on Guardian Radio.
Hey, producer, pick up the phone, Scrooge.
I can't tell if I could pick up the phone.
Hey, sorry, that's Scrooge. I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, I can't tell if I pick up the phone.
No, I just borrowed myself. I just happen to come out when I do it, but
okay, go ahead.
Rough respect to you still.
Yes, brother.
Listen to your phone, listen to your show 24/7 every Friday. Still number one show in my mind still.
Enough thanks, brother. Enough respect.
So I've been through enough times, he's 65, I've been through the thug days, but then that's the thug days from them days to this day still.
Yeah, yes, brother.
And I was working in my community, and I show you victimization is real, bro.
Yes, sir.
I had my 35 men them. I watched a couple of them dead on the street, bro, trying to get into this ice. In my community, I hold 8 bombos and bring them down.
8 bombos?
In my community, bro.
8 bombos?
8 bombos.
Wow.
Trying to join all these communities, working in my community, trying to get better for my community, And I watch certain things just because you speaking like you say speak
I
truth.
know. We just get victimized.
Just because the party, the places don't want you to speak truth.
Yes,
they
my brother.
smash you down.
Yes, my brother.
You know what I'm telling you?
Yes, my brother.
I had 35 people that want you to hear my story, a real story,
Go ahead, brother.
I had eight Bahamas, bring them down in my community. I ain't going to say the community because I know victimization is real, but I can give you my story still. You see? And bring them down, Had people come from way off East Street in my community and come in my community to join this Bahamas program, I come up with a program, an empowerment program. Barry Christian preacher for this empowerment program. I was going to give you, and when it was all about empowerment.
Yes.
When they wake my program, they give me my program for $142,000. The head of the head of the gentleman, let me speak properly,
yes,
who was leading the Bahamas, was teaching my classes. I bring him down in the ghetto so people didn't have to go all these places.
Yes.
Just so they can have easy access.
Yes.
Feeding them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Make sure they educated.
So they can learn more. So they can learn more and
relax.
Going
to my MP, I ain't tell you, I voted against her, but This person helped me out still. So I was just like making sure I don't care who you is coming to my community, come before any MP.
Yes, sir.
You just there to represent me in the house to make sure laws you put in there. But I on the ground, know the people on the ground.
Yes. You have a passion for helping.
And for my community, I was doing this I even get beat out of my house when I went to first set the people out of my community who was the PLP just because I don't want to see change in 92.
I understand.
My old man licked me in my head and tell me, get out the yard. I might live out on the road for a couple of weeks before I could come back home because they say, man, I ain't vote along because, you know, in them days you had to vote with your mom.
Yeah, they punish you. That's how serious it was.
Punish me out on the
It was
road.
tribalism.
That's what I stood with. Because I was like that when I was in school, dealing with when the government strike against the teachers, man, me and my classmate, like with Roddy, maybe joined the situation and going on down and fight for teachers' right. But let me show you what it be when you do these kind of things, you know. Victimization from these people, them, who just feel of it though, because you doing good in the community, like you trying to run against them.
Yes.
Or you trying to take power and fame from them.
Yes.
They victimize you.
Yes.
I don't see the good, but what you see when you come to represent your community, but you've been living in your community, you know the people in your community.
Yes, brother.
And you're only trying to show them this how this thing go. I ain't worrying about how they vote. But this how this thing go, and let's get this program running.
They don't understand what type of person you are. You're a nationalist. You're not
Ah,
you see, they don't understand. They can't figure you out.
Or they feel like they taking the popularity from them.
Yeah.
And they try to victimize you.
Yes, sir. You're right.
Now you see how the situation going on. You see people that might still go into my community and clean up these property, you know.
Yes, sir.
And watch them wake and say they clean the property, but I wasn't wearing with no pay. Come to find out these people them are like cleaning these property, know these people ain't got no pay for these property and ready to take these properties from these people. I ain't mind what they doing, you know. But if you can find these 25,000 homes vacant, then give some of these homes to these same mothers in on the street.
Yes, my brother. And got
put in there.
Yes.
And don't go talk about no low cost and home. Find homes for these mothers them out there. And give them to some of these programs then like what this woman is be doing around for these women and these victims of all these things. And let them have these houses, man.
Yes, my brother.
You see what I'm saying? What I see what's going on in this country, you know, the Bible show you, a poor man is often despised, you know.
Yes.
If you don't come in a coat suit, your wisdom ain't no good to them, brother.
Yes, my brother.
You ain't come with some money, your wisdom ain't no good to them.
Yes.
But if you speak in truth from the heart with God and sent you for, why they will ridicule you.
Yes, they all against you.
Mind you,
they all
listen
against
to
you.
the Bible say, all in the king's glory and all of his advisors still take the poor man outside the gate to save the city. And after he saved the city, when they look at him, his wisdom was despised. These people that move in power, don't get me wrong, we vote them in. We have no other choices. But when my persons in my community came in and I say, look here, I had to defend democracy, not party. Because a certain people them saying, well, if you cast for the DNA, your vote it didn't make no sense. I had to show them, man, if a third party there, don't care who vote for them, they vote still make sense. But they still try to tell me just so that I go on against them. I said, no, man, I call for the person to come in my community, so if I call for them, I have to vote for them. Ain't that I go on against you.
No.
But I had to stand up for democracy. I can't call for them to come into the community and then don't vote for them.
Yes.
Because the DNA at the time wasn't even thinking my community. They want to win the government, but they ain't sending nobody to run against this person. That means you ain't really for everybody in the country.
Yes, sir.
But I just trying to show you I like what you doing, right? But see, brethren like me and you, right? Like I show you the number one show, they just don't want to see the heart talk because you got the people in the community at heart.
Yes, sir.
They on the political stage for the Tribune page. They won't get on the front page.
Yes, sir.
You just won't get in the community to work to see that everybody get a fair chance.
Yes, sir. Because I know what's at
but
stake.
But their problem is they won't get on the front page for political power every hour.
Yes, sir.
And leaving brethren like you out there fighting for the trueness of the community.
Yes, sir.
Regardless to who wear the shirt, you looking everybody got to walk on this earth and stand on this dirt, man.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying? But when you look at the situation in this community, and you see what's going on, but everything was going on around here, the Bahamas is a sweet place with God has blessed us with,
Yes.
We ain't the place that, with these people that God has set,
And we could work on getting.
And we could work on our perfection.
Yes, we need to work
but
on
our problem is, we looking in the wrong direction. We ain't looking towards the hills for men coming for our help. Our help coming from the Lord which created both heaven and earth.
We're looking for man.
We're looking for man to solve
the
this.
Prime Minister or the Minister or the Pastor.
And they people just like me and you that'll feel,
or Willa Francis or Gus Cooper.
Man, listen to all these things. If you look in even the like how you call it,
The junk canoe. You see what's going on? Corruption.
These man, them going in the junk canoe, right? This is so amazing. And they just remember to register a name.
I swear, what going?
But in 2 years' time, so that's negligence of the government. So who you always gain this money to for the last 10 years and what they was doing with the money?
Party members who are part of the
You
government.
see what I'm saying? We don't even know when they win, how much the groups them win. What the prize money for the group, we just know what the government gain out in seed money.
And like you
So
said,
if you look over the years with the Valley in the Sox even of a junk, man, let's say millionaire groups.
yes, sir.
And they supposed to be taking care of their community. They don't call it as non-profit organizations.
How much houses they fix? How much in the Mason Mission area? Okay. How much the Wally houses built? See, this is the thing right now. Boy, you knocked the nail with it. You talking about
when the government starts this nonsense, and they're talking, but the government need to do all for the last 10 years of junking and figure out what these non-profit groups them was doing in the community.
It going to the leaders.
Getting government money.
It going to the leaders and who is their favorite in the party, and they leave everyone
You
else
see what I'm
out.
saying? So when you look at these people, them who was one leader was a F&M. One leader was a PLP thing. But you know that like Cylinder for my brother?
Yes, sir.
Cylinder wrote for the pigs. He never wrote for the...
Yeah, he's making us laugh.
He never picked the Wally. He never picked the Saxon. But listen to all our leaders, them. They who been minister tell you he's a Saxon. These are the rest of them tell you they is Wally.
Yeah.
Philin ain't never gone in none of them groups.
Yeah.
And he had the heart of the people, but he could have chosen a group. You know what he going with? The pigs, big, come with power, integrity, and guts.
Yeah.
And strength.
Yes.
You see what he's saying? I mean, I saw he chose the pig as the example. You know what I'm saying, my brother?
I understand you, because that's the worst animal. That's the worst animal. That's the worst animal league. You know?
Yeah, that's the worst animal.
That's the worst. Stay away from pig, people. Behaving people, stay away from the pig. Stay away from the pig.
If you listen to the prime, if you listen to people and understand what Mr. Pillin was trying to show us, you know, it wasn't that we had to fight for the country, you know. He had a people power, but he didn't have economic power.
Yes.
He realized that himself.
Yes, sir.
And even after he did, and he formed this so-called Sunshine Boys, them they end up making their money, but they forget about it. Supposed to be black power to them to go along with the oligarchies.
Yes.
But they got self-contented with their own little greed and start to see what the wealth is all about, and they leave us out behind.
Yes.
Now, over the hill, which side is over the hill? Because Bay Street dead. Which part of over the hill now is the rich part? Because he couldn't go on that side, but look, see what the white man do? He put all these shops them in the mall, rented all his shops them to the Indians, so he getting 3 part of the pie. One out by the port, one on Bay Street, and one in Marathon Mall, them in together. So he get 3 sections of the pie when he was telling us we can't go to Bay Street.
Yeah, I remember we couldn't go to Bay Street.
Now, you see what they trying to do? Junkuno was supposed to be a nuisance. They want to get Junkuno over Bay Street. They ain't want with them CB people them robbing, you know.
That's small change still happening on Bay Street, man.
They're trying to tell you, but see, if we come as a collective people and understand who we is as a powerful people and get rid of this envy and jealousy and this small political talk and realize that when we vote these people in, regardless of, I can't tell you to vote FNM or PLP, but then we got to look at every individual who voted for these people. When they come in the House Assembly, it's still us who suffering around the streets. And if they can't fulfill the need of the masses, then we have to change them, because at the end of the day, it ain't about the color, because the color of us is still the color of our skin.
Yes, sir.
It ain't the color of the shirt we wear.
Yes, sir.
It's the nation that we bore before the entire world, that we are people. We ain't no drug running people or no gun people who they are trying to mark us as no dangerous nation. We're God-fearing people, man. We influenced by the world as it expands and changes around us, but we are not ignorant people.
Yes, sir.
We just keep on putting the same set of people who are lawyers, who know the loopholes of the Constitution, who know the loopholes of the laws, and looking at me and you when we try to make a difference in our community, because we are not on the political stage. We just want to see our community. Then they start to victimize me and you.
Yes, you're right.
They start to look at a brother like you with all the intellect and the intelligence.
We are victimized.
And try to say, well, hey, brother, look here, man. You're trying to get power more than me. Submit yourself, man. At least come through me. And all you're trying to do is tell them, help my community, my brother.
Why I got to go to as MP and I doing some great stuff, programs that could benefit
All right, then.
Why I got to come to your office?
I had the Bahamas program. I had an empowerment. I had a soft skills training program. And all these things, I had brothers who wanted to join the police force. Some of them then dead now because I submitted my plan to my MP. They I'm crazy. I submitted to the Ministry of Tourism, but they shut me down.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I don't blame them, because at the end of the day, this is how I look at it. Once God got people like me on the right, they can't stop us, bro.
Yes, brother.
So I try and tell us, because we all this could be encouraged by the love we have for our community and the work we want to do.
Yeah, man, I can see you
And
genuine.
the seed we plant,
Yeah.
lion like us may go, but the cubs from coming.
Yes, sir. Because we program some
blessed,
cubs.
lion.
Yeah, man. Enough respect, brother. That's a righteous man right there. See, when you're looking for righteous people, you can listen to their voice. I could feel his aura. Listen, you ever hear about this earning spirit? You could go somewhere and you could send someone bad or send someone wicked. Yeah, right? And you could see that man right there. He is a man of principle, and every word he says is the truth. I victimized and I know this. I've heard this. And I still keep doing what I'm doing because I know I'm blessed with the Father. There are obstacles out there. Remember when I was talking about Juan Miller? And I told him, say, I'm an activist, and I had some programs that I want him to help me with. And the reason why I didn't go, because I know that I'm an activist and I speak on some things that could offend some of his colleagues, some things I say, and I don't want him to get involved, and that's one of the reasons I didn't went back there. Jeffrey Lloyd, he launched off me as well, who was the radio talk shows on one of the stations here, on Star. He launched off me as well. And he asked me if he wanted to go in politics as well. And like I said, I don't have no problem against him, even though he was to do some things similar. He helped out some things, but we were not able to continue because, again, I speak out some things against his government, and I don't want him and my relationship. So I rather not communicate than to communicate, and that's the type of person I am. You understand? I'm going to take this last call. I'm going to talk about the young lady who lost her life. Go ahead, caller. You're on inside in the city on Garden Radio.
Yeah, bless up, Jaman.
Hey, 52.
Yeah, what's poppin'?
Everything cool, brother.
The brother just now moved me, right?
Yeah, man.
Moved me, right? Because, we know the struggle. And we listen to the narratives every day, and we living it, we seeing it. And we know that the place is full of injustices. He talked about the victimization, et cetera, et cetera. This is a characteristic of people in high places because they like to inflict pain and suffering. And so he spoke about the inner city and the dialect buildings I saw. I was listening to you a little earlier, right? And then we passed East Street. You could call it north or east, of East Street, and you could call it south of Lewis Street, et cetera, et cetera. And we see, even in some areas that used to be what we call suburban areas, we see homes that used to be plush become dilapidated.
Yes.
People kind of afford to repair them, right, Scrooge?
Yes, sir.
So, bro, just put some jeans together. I wouldn't like to say how much it cost, but it was about 20-something or somebody to prepare the roof and do things. And in the inner city, people think you got something going on. But what I'm saying is, Scrooge, it's all well and good to suggest that the government use these properties, right? But that should be after all avenues are being exhausted.
I agree. Consultation. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, because I want to say the legalities is such a way that, let's say, the person might be holding it, but they might be the rightful inheritor.
Yes. No, they have the first preference. They have the first
on the other island. My grandma was telling us about something that a lot of LD family members don't think we know about, in which piece of property by our father. And some older family members may have sold it and think we don't know anything about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are the type of things that are going on. Why you have to put these things in a suit and a will, because family members are very wicked when it comes to generation.
Yes. You remember saying it earlier on the show? I was saying it earlier on the show.
Yes, because I was listening to you. It's just that my schedule, sometimes I rest when I could.
Yes, sir.
Because it's a busy season coming up. People don't even remember these furniture during the Christmas, right?
I saw him come get some stools, man.
Yeah, but with Scoozy,
hey.
After all avenues are being exhausted. And
yes, I agree.
Because I see a lot of homes where, and then like you said, Minutes came up with an idea for incentives within your area.
Yes, free tax zone.
When I made the joke and said that he needed to move the parameters over to the Grove because there was no need for grandstand. You remember that?
Yes, you need to extend it.
Yeah, but that's an incentive whereby, once the person could identify themselves via passport, they shouldn't have to need all of these.
And once you say it's Bahamian, once you have nobody we talking, once you can show you it's a Bahamian, you get that passport, most definitely.
But not only this is your parents, this is the DNA, whatever. I bring in the building material, but we are so crooked as a nation, right? Until they always believe somebody will make open up a business on bringing in plywood or shingle. You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah, something, yeah, yeah.
So crooked, right? Because you know that, right?
Yeah.
You know I'm going to make a play. Like
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
call
yeah,
that
yeah.
because your play, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So to give you an idea of the deterioration, right? You and I would have, we know what the road is like, right? So for you, if I ask you a personal question, and I just want you to answer, have you ever had the police take money from you before, Scusi?
A lot of times.
Yeah, and people say that as a joke. I've had it done numerous times also, but you know what is most hurtful about it, Scusi?
Hey.
Nothing is ever done about it.
No.
And then you listen to these guys, and these people come on like they so infallible and this and that. And that's one of the most hurtful things to me is actually to have money removed from my domain and
when they search your house,
quite visibly, and
yeah.
there's nothing being done, and you can't do anything, and they don't, and you know. But I looked in the papers the other day, and I saw one of the fellas, one of the officers now deceased, right? Yeah. So I hope all people would realize that one day they'll have the answer to the Almighty.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Whether you're from the Bahamas or Haiti.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I want people to know, you know. We don't humanize ourselves until we later on. Because all roads lead to the Prince Edward Hospital or wherever, you know, you eventually, right?
Yeah.
And we see all the collective neglect, the reject, over and over, Scusi.
Yes, sir.
Simple analogy, sufferation is most burdensome for people at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Even in physics, if you put 50 blocks, what do you think the most precious, Scusi? The block to the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Anyhow, Scusi, you keep up your works, you know. I mean, people talk about road works, job works, you know, because I don't know what they're going to buy these expensive cars for because there's a pothole, but I think the per capita of a pothole is increased. I'd be so glad and I buy one. You know what I mean? Like, I just saying I want a diesel truck now, but what I'm saying is, Scusi, there's no way you could ride now, and it gets so mad sometimes when you hit the pothole because it's like it's inevitable. It's somewhere, anywhere, and you don't know where it is, but bam, 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 bam. You ride in a big time car just to drop in the pothole, and I mean, they know that if it rains, the potholes develop. So you don't let me now. Scientists or them and all their brains couldn't come through. But I've lived in the States. I just really basically, even on the back roads in Alabama, on the dirt road, I've never seen a pothole.
Oh, but anyway.
Yeah, bless her.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'd just like to say this. I'm going to take, just want to say this real quick. We talked about the housing issue. After all resources expelled when the government comes in, see the property, see the house, they have to meet with the minister. And like he said, someone might not have papers for the property, but it is their property. I think that should be the first step, and their first preference to the property. They have a choice to sell it to the government, or if the government want to help them build someone, they could, like, that should be alternative. This is one of the suggestions to be made. The property should not be taken. The only way the property should be taken if no one responds to the property and it's been there for such a long time. But always the issue of purchasing the property should be there. And the persons, if they don't have no papers or they've been squatting on the land for over 15, 20 years, they should be given first preference. But other than that, these homes need to be, the owners need to be respected for their ownership, but also they need to be held accountable for the condition of their yards as well. Because right now, our community and our houses are run down, and we need to uplift the building code in our community to make sure that we have the proper roofing, we have the proper plumbing, we have the proper sanitation, meaning that the yards are clean in a timely fashion, and make sure that there are no dialect vehicles around the houses and etc., and that there's no garbage on the next side of the houses in the community, because that's a hell hazard. So these things. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the last thing. Okay. You know, just recently, I see someone else on the line. I don't think I have no more time. Sorry. I just want to get this part of the show because only have 15 minutes left on the show. So if you could hold on for about 5 minutes, I could let you talk. Just recently, we had a young lady recently killed. Her body was discovered on Munich Road a few days ago. Made headlines around the country. You know, she was missing and she was as well pregnant. She was found deceased, you know, along with her baby also. She was 7 months pregnant. Ask yourself this question. Who could kill a pregnant woman? Some hunters don't even have the nerve to kill a pregnant animal, because when they see the animal, they see the pregnancy, and they could see that life inside them. What do you think it takes a person to actually kidnap you? And these are persons, they say they love you, and you're pregnant, and they would kill you. You know? Yeah, people, you know, we can judge people, you know, but we got to learn from people's mistakes, you know. And this is not the first time it has happened, you know. And when you listen to the stories surrounding, I don't know if all the story is true, but that's the last one to hear about on Friday. So I'd comment on it real quick. It's a case before the court. There's someone now being investigated for that particular horrific homicide, which involved a pregnant mother. When you listen to the story, you know, like I said, I'm the last one here, but again, my condolences go to the family. And, you know, you was listening to the news, and many are saying that we could have gone here and searched, and the police stopped us from searching. Probably the police was questioning the individual who they had in custody, and they were able to have some information. They just didn't want the family or friends to go on this particular spot because you could tamper with evidence. You could interfere with the fingerprints, you could interfere with the car, you could put your fingerprints on the car. There's evidence on the ground. You know, there could be blood spotted from the individual. All of these stuff, so that's one of the reasons the police didn't give the information to the whereabouts of the body. You know, and then we listen to the story, you know, like I say, you can't judge nobody, but ladies and gentlemen, you know, I'm not perfect. I've been in a similar situation myself, but I was able to handle it, you know, quite, you know. I'm telling you, you're not perfect, and one thing with me, I speak out myself as well. You know, I've been in a similar situation, you know, and I eased my way out of that. I was able to work my way out of it. I was not in the wrong, okay? And I was able to work my way out of that. Jealousy is a very serious thing. I had this individual stalking me because of his girlfriend. His girlfriend left him, and we ended up getting together, right? And this guy had the audacity to come and talk to me. Let me show you how serious jealousy is, right? And when this guy introduced, well, I'm going to show you how serious jealousy could cause you to get killed. You understand? I said, just imagine if I was the person who take like 10 serious, you know, and, you know, he came looking for me in my community where I live. He brand check, come by my house and tell me who he is, and then being seeing one another going about a year and a half. You understand? Just recently. You know, and I look at him and say, brother, I say, listen, I know you and whoever this girl was, whatever the situation is. Did I interfere in your relationship? Did you ever see me? You know, that's something when she was single, right? So jealousy is a very serious thing. So you got to be careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. You know, and I talk to this guy, you know, and I talk to him in a nice manner, and he come in my church by the bar where I sang as well. You understand? And I talk to him like a man. You know, I talk to him like I say, you know, say, good talk though. You know, I say, good talk though. You know, she pick who she want to be with, brother. But I say, I don't want to be in the middle of this love triangle because I'm not going to put myself in this position to be back and forth with nobody, not for her, and definitely not for you. And I don't even want to know you, my boy. In fact, I don't even want to talk to you. And you understand what I'm trying to say? I don't even know your name. You understand? Because I'm not interested in you. And far as I'm saying, I don't want to know your name. I just say this, and I was not even intimidated. I say, but don't let a woman cost you, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Because he ain't going to cost me. I ain't going to no jail for no woman. All right? And I don't think no woman should want to go to jail for no man, and no man should want to go to jail for no woman. Okay, simple as that. So you got to be careful who you get yourself involved with when in this relationship. Check these people's background. Don't play with people's feelings, you hear me? Some people different, are immature. That's why I was able to deal with that. You get some people out there who are immature. You get stalkers out there, you leave them, they stalking you. They going to people around their job. You see the guy just like the girl, they can see his girlfriend in a gentleman car on Facebook, and the guy followed this guy home and light the guy car a fire. You understand? And they on Facebook now saying, if you know this guy, and they said they believe this the guy who, he was talking to this guy's girlfriend, and he saw his girlfriend going in his car with this guy, and this guy followed this guy, spying where this guy lived, and he light this guy's car on fire. Then there was a fire a few months ago where the hose kept burning up with a similar incident, same thing. Then you had a girl who did the same thing. Relationships, listen, go put your report into the police, okay? And try stay away from married people, all right? Listen to me, try stay away from married people. Even when someone get a boyfriend and girlfriend, you know they have a boyfriend and girlfriend, try stay away from that as well. You understand? You don't know how people's reaction is going to be. I'm not saying in this case, but this is similar. You understand? And when you listen to the story, I heard Friday, you know, he had one thing about the husband, then you listen to this, the girl, boyfriend now. So there's a love triangle. I'm not saying in this case, but all the information that we're receiving. And I'm not saying no one is wrong, but I'm just saying study it and look at it. Don't say it can't be you. You understand? You know how mad that individual was, had to pull the trigger to kidnap the young lady, and she's pregnant. You know what it is to pull a trigger on a pregnant? You know what's but you got to be one of the coldest person in the world. You got to have no heart. That means you got to be mad. You could imagine the rage that person was in. You know? You know, I had a assistant brother killed, I tell you. And the reason my brother got killed, because my sister. I'm out hard. You understand? Cause problem in the yard. Cause a boyfriend, get in a fight, and the guys him gang him, he go and get his gun, he come back, and he killed 2 guys. Right? From my sister, because she caused it. Right? My brother called me, tell me, brother, come help me. I said, brother, I changed my life, I just changed my life. I said, only advice I can give you, go to the police station, report it, and try to go and find some place that's to stay. Because if sister come down, you know niggas mad now, it's retaliation. This is the last time I talked to my brother. She was living right around the corner from him. And she left because she felt the life was threatened because now, like I told you, her boyfriend, my sister boyfriend, killed 2 guys in his yard where she lived. Everyone get bad people in their family. So now she left from where she was because the guys was threatened, said they could kill her. And she went by my brother. I told my buddy, he called me back. This is the last time I talked to him. I said, Corey, that only right down the road. I said, I don't know what y'all gonna do. I just knew something. You understand? I say, you, and he say, I could come by him. And she asked if she could stay by him. What sense you want to stay by her brother when you know murder just happened on the road because of you? All right? See how people, see, even your brothers, and your sisters, and your cousins, your friends, them could cause you get killed. You understand? And she went by him. The guys, them follow them. Went to the house. They had my three nieces was in there, along with my brother, my sister, and his girlfriend. So you get 3 kids, you get 2 females, and my brother. Guys, them kicked down the door with 2 shotguns. And the first one they killed is my sister. And she was 9 months pregnant. And they killed my brother. And then they killed his girlfriend who was 3 months pregnant. You understand? And so we asked this question that if a mother who's pregnant, if the poison individual who killed them should be charged with double murder. Well, we heard the Minister of National Security, Wayne Munro, explain it. And he let you know that murder, and it cannot be double murder, because under the Bahamian law, we don't classify a fetus as a human life. And that is the most stupidest thing that I ever heard. It's not Wayne Munro. It's our law at the Bahamas. He only is a lawyer, and he knows everything he's talking about. And if you ask me, it's the stupidest law I've ever heard. Waste crime. People asking for the death penalty. I don't know. All I can say is that murders are not murders are going to continue to happen in our country. The only thing we can do is try to change the mindset of our next generation, to let them be less violent, teach them family values, teach them Christian values, teach them what it is to be a man, teach them what it is to be a woman, give them the proper education, give them the proper housing, give them the best opportunity that we could provide for them as the citizens of this country. Because at the end of the day, when we have kids, a report from social service saying we have record number of child abuse, record number of physical abuse, record number of divorce, okay? Record number of rapes, okay? This indicates right now that we're in serious trouble. Because when social services statistics, it shows you that the direction where we're going. Most of these kids who you see are part of social service, who are being, it is reported that it's likely that the individuals who will be abused will be predators in the near futures. That means murderers, rapists, bongi bandits, and everything you got to offer is what we're raising in our society today. We're going to take this last call. Go ahead, call out. You're on inside the inner city. Last call?
Hey, Scrooge.
Yes, sir. You got about 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Good night, it's GNN. Let me try and make it quick. You're touching on the Scrooge. Deepest sympathy to the family.
Yes.
My condolences, you know.
Yes,
But you know what the sad thing about it is, Scrooge, our politicians, they ain't serious, you know, especially a certain administration. It's like when it comes to elderly women, our young girls, pregnant women, and children, and they ain't serious because they will come and they will opine sound bite stuff on the radio about how much they care and all of that. And then the next day, it's like ain't nothing happened. They don't go to the house and they don't try to fix nothing. What I would like to see them do include the murder of a pregnant woman's child after, especially towards the end of the second and the third trimester. Because at the end of the second and the third trimester, that's a fully formed baby.
Yes.
All that baby doing is waiting to come.
Yes.
You know, so I'll know if the FNM or the PLPCs, when they say, okay, we're going into the house and we're going to amend that law.
Yes.
So far, nothing, Scrooge.
Yes.
And it saddens me, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you very much. And Minister, thank you very much for all the calls to call in. You guys did a tremendous job. The minister also said that even though it's not in the books, right? He said that based on the outcome of the case, they would use the fetus as a way to give further punishment, means they'd add more time on. But I ain't gonna lie, we ain't serious in this country, you know? Even when the minister said that, you know, he had no compassion about it, you know. He's saying it from a lawyer perspective and how he being represented and what he being trained for, you know. There's no emotion in it. He's right as what he's saying, but he has no emotion. And it just goes to show you the systematic system can change you to make you cold, even though he's doing his job, right? And he's saying the right thing. Still, you got to sympathize with people and say, you know, we don't like it. You know, it's something that we got to do about it. But he made sense when he said that it's murder. Whether they charge you with double murder or what with the fetus, it still means that the murder itself is enough to make sure you never see the day of light ever again. But I'm saying a fetus is a life, and we talk about God, we talk about the Bible. You know, a woman is pregnant, you know. We have that law, whoever created that, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. I don't think we are sensible as human beings, honestly speaking. We are not sensible at all. You know, we say we're intelligent, but we ain't intelligent at all, because that don't make no sense in the book. Woman, belly, there, and can't be charged under the book of our law. It's crazy. I'm your host, Valentino Brown, host of the talk show Inside the NSC. My producer is Wally. And we'll see you next week on Guiding Radio 96.9. Big shout out to my boy Elroy. Bless up. And my boy Kelsey Lundy, Scrooge down in East Street. Big boy restaurant and bar, Gibbs Corner. Nice food, nice drink. I'll probably go to stop by there tonight and enjoy. Good night, everyone.
I represent billion people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Dayton, bro. Boy, I from Dayton, bro. Don't take no back talk, no bribe or no joke. If you find fire, you definitely find smoke. Linton, bro. Boy, I'm from Linton, bro.